Okay, we got an old O2 Plymouth Voyager, and we got antifreeze running out from it. It appears as though it may be a water pump. Without digging into it, I'm not really sure. I'm going to do a little research first, but you can see it running down in behind the pulley. So I'm going to dig into it and see what we got. O2 Plymouth Voyager. This is definitely something not as simple as I thought it would be. The biggest problem here is no room to do anything. So I'm still taking it apart. I'm working on the engine mount now. I have to prop the engine up. I have it on the lift, but I think I'm going to lower it down because there's not much more to do underneath here. You got everything pretty much all set. I got a couple of bolts left there to do. So it's coming a little bit to a time. Okay, before I remove this timing belt, I want to line up my mark. There's the mark right here and the mark on the block. So I wanted to line that up before I removed anything else, just to make sure that I have the engine where it needs to be when I put the new belt on. I just got the motor mount out. It's actually in two pieces, and I'll show that to you. But I just want to show you here, there's the two marks that need to be lined up. So I'm going to just mark this, take a picture of this, just to make sure. This is my first water pump replacement on the 2.4 liter. So, but anyways, there's not a whole lot of room to work with here. So over here, I just wanted to show you, this is the motor mount. There's in two pieces. So you've got the motor mount that sits on the body of the vehicle, and then you have the other half that is attached to the motor itself. And what I have found that in taking these bolts out, you're going to have to take those out with the bracket itself. They will not slide out because of the structure of the vehicle is in the way. So good luck with this. This was kind of a pain, but it's out. I got it all apart. There's the port where the water pump will fit into. The old one is out, as you can see. Got that all taken off. Got the timing gears taken off, and I've got those placed up here so I know exactly where they go. Got them all marked. Forgot to take off the alternator bracket, so that has to come off as well. So a lot has to come off this to replace this water pump. New water pump all ready to go on. Got it all cleaned up down there, so I will now install the water pump. Okay, there it is, all installed. I wish it was that simple, but now I have to put this whole thing all together, and that's going to take a little bit more time. So I still have this power steering pump down here, which was giving me some troubles loosening it up, so I need to pay a little attention to that before I go any further. But it took probably less than a minute to install it, and I wish it was a little closer to the outside of the motor. This job would have been done hours ago. So that's what it should look like after installed. Let's see, I just wanted to point out that this back guard here has to come up through the bottom. I mean, you might be able to try to get up through the top, but I had better success from bringing it up through the bottom. Okay, I forgot to show this, taking this apart. All you have to do is put an Allen wrench, I think it's a 10mm, in the pulley and pull up, and it will actually loosen up the timing belt. So something I had forgotten to show, and it's actually relatively important because I had to do some research to figure out how to do that myself. So just pull up on that, and I think I can do that. Just kind of pull up like this, and it loosens it up. It releases some of the tension on the pulley. Okay, timing belt is all back on, got the motor mount back on. Biggest thing to remember on the timing belt is to make sure that the two marks are lined up, even on the crankshaft down below. That's pretty obvious down below, but up here it's really hard to see the marks, so make sure those are lined up before you go any further. So it's going back together pretty good, and I will come back to this shortly. Okay, here we are, success. It's been running for about 15 minutes now. Got the fluids all circulating through, no leaks. Sounds really good, like it did before. So one good thing is the timing chain is on right. timing belt, I'm sorry. And I've been watching down here before I put this cover on, been looking for leaks. Everything looks good. I'll let it run for another 10 to 15 and I'll take it for a quick spin. But I believe I'm pretty much all set. So I've got everything all back together, and I want to just show the timing belt here had a cut in it. I marked it here, and you know, it's frayed. So the timing belt was ready to go. So if there wasn't the water pump, this was going to be the next thing it had gone. In inspecting the other parts, everything else was worn as well. This pulley here, there's a lot of slop here in the pulley. That was pretty much gone as well. The water pump, that obviously is why we started this big project. It was leaking, but further inspection, you can feel that there's quite a bit of slop on that as well. So that was junk. The idler pulley itself, that was probably the worst. You probably can't hear that, but there's grinding in there. So that was all sloppy as well. The whole job went okay. It took me about 7 hours, being my first one. The directions that it comes with, it's pretty straightforward. If you're familiar with tools and wrenches and basic automotive, you're going to be able to handle this without much of a problem. About $195 for the parts, 7 hours worth of labor, so not too bad, not too bad. The biggest thing you have to remember, and I've talked about this in the other, is the timing. And you see the marks right there. That has to be just right. And it's a little tricky because you're down underneath the car and you're up on top of the car, at the, you know, trying to line this all up. So good luck. And I know this is a short video, but I didn't want to go step by step because if you've got a basic understanding of how tools and mechanics work, I didn't think that I had to show everything.